Democrats continue to be confused. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries now still trying to push forward as Democrats continue to be confronted about former President Biden's mental decline with a steady drip of new revelations on his condition coming to light. I want to bring in former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on this. And Kevin, good day to you. You noted it. I remember hearing it from you back in the day. Chris Murphy, Democratic senator, says no doubt. He says there's no doubt about it. The debate is whether it was enough that it compromised his ability to act as chief executive. Now, there's a bunch of books out there right now. Maybe there's more coming. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but perhaps that happens.
Well, welcome back, guys. I got a freaking doozy for you guys. Man, I think Chuck Schumer, I think Hakeem Jeffries, I think a lot of other Democrats should be fired, should step down. I'm calling for them to be stepped down. I ain't nobody, but if you're a Democrat, these guys have been lying to you since day one. They've been lying to you. It just pisses me off that these people get away with this crap. And hopefully some of you Democrats can see what's going on. They've been lying to you about Joe Biden this whole entire time, but we already knew about it. We were trying to tell you from the rooftops. We were like, we wanted this scream. We're just like, holy crap, you guys don't even understand how bad we were trying to tell you that Joe Biden is crazy. Well, you probably already knew that. But let's go. Thanks for sharing, subscribing, and we'll see you in a little bit.
At which point do Democrats finally shake this? Because it's just a cloud that's moving over them every day.
They're trying to ignore it. They're trying to say, oh, we're just looking forward. But I think the leaders that covered this up should have to resign. So that means Schumer and Hakeem should
100%.
Actually resign because they saw the same thing I did. And when I came forward with what was going on, they all attacked me. They tried to even do the cover-up. Instead of just not saying anything, they attacked those who tried to tell the truth. And they allowed the country to be in this position. That's not a place for a leader to be. When you can see what was going on in the White House, and Dana, you know this better than anything, that White House is a place that is humming. Under Biden, nothing. It is so quiet. And then when you had meetings with him, you had a different meeting every time. But there's times his mind was not there. That he led me into the swimming pool one time. Another time he was dazed that he saw his wife Jill. And why did Jill have to be in so many meetings?
Unlike others.
This is crazy. Did you guys notice that at all? Nobody's come out? I mean, the people like us were saying this from day one. And we were getting called conspiracy theorists, and we were called all kinds of names. And that's what they do. They call people like us names because they don't want to admit it. Make us look stupid. It's crazy how the Democrats think. What do you guys think?
You were honest about what was happening. You told people what you saw. No, so yesterday, we don't have this sound, but Jake Sullivan, who's a national security advisor, he's being interviewed yesterday, asked if he ever noticed anything. And it's reported in the book that a couple of times the president looked at him and called Jake Sullivan Steve. And he said, nope, never saw anything. But you imagine that the Democrats were calling for the 25th Amendment against President Trump in his first term. And none of these people thought this was a concern, that the President of the United States and his national security advisor didn't have clear lines of communication?
No. But the worst part...
They sure did. Man. They were saying some crazy shit about Donald Trump. But, man, just the opposite with Joe Biden.
It is privately together. They acknowledged his problems. They made jokes about it. They said he was our zombie. This is the highest leaders in the cabinet would say this about this president because they would talk about him not recognizing him, calling him by a different name, and then go out and attack those who ever brought it forward. That, to me, is the biggest crime of all, to allow this to go forward, to put America in this jeopardy. And then you wonder why we had such terrible foreign policy. Why were new wars created? Why did we look weaker on the world stage? Why did we lose? Well, they're at fault because they covered up. And this is a country that if somebody falls behind, somebody else is elected to step into that position.
I got a question for you guys. Who do you think was doing the auto pen? Donald Trump and his his government is investigating the auto pen. We want to know who do you guys think? I don't know if it's Obama or if it was Jill Biden, but I have my thing. I really think it's actually Obama. I just think it is. Maybe Jill. I don't know for sure, but if what do you guys think? Give me your thoughts and opinions down below, just in the comments.
They should not have been silent, and if they were leaders and they were silent, they should step away from their jobs.
New York Times did a focus group of Democrats. These are voters now, okay? Here's 4 quotes. Ariel's age 23, Indiana. What do you think of the Democratic Party? Disappointing a little bit. Harold out of Florida, age 54. Ariel took the words out of my mouth, he said. Disappointing. Spencer, age 30, out of Illinois, white therapist. Useless. I'm sorry, is his quote. Terrell, age 39, Texas, black nonprofit. Inept is his quote. How do you turn that around?
You have to turn it around. It has to change. I mean, it's not just the voters. Look at the Democratic leader in the Senate in Florida. He literally resigned from the party because he says the party has left him. If the party has gone so far one way, because remember what the party has done. They changed their election rules about which state starts first. They pre-pick who can be their nominee. They deny other people from even running, like RFK. So in those situations, what they need to do is start with new leadership. That's the only way they're going to build trust. And they need to start with ideas. Get off this idea that your whole campaign is to just oppose President Trump. Go out and talk about policies. And for the first time, I saw a few Democrats literally crediting President Trump with his foreign policy trip he just went on. Finally, they're only waking that up because their own voters are telling them, you're
Kevin,
being dumb and we're voting for somebody else.
Sorry to jump in, but I do want to get you on record with this topic. Let's just play from Speaker Johnson. He's trying to get a big, beautiful bill done. You know how this goes. Let's play his sound here.
Meeting you were having with folks inside there, go.
Forward progress. We're going to look at some numbers tonight, keep this thing moving forward.
So there's no guarantee that you're having a budget committee meeting tomorrow?
We're having a budget committee meeting tomorrow. That's the plan.
What if it doesn't get out of budget tomorrow?
It'll get out of budget.
You're confident?
I'm confident.
What do you guys think about that big, beautiful bill? I think there's some hidden things in there. I'm not going to lie, because I mean, anything that sounds good usually is too good to be true. But I think the no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, I think that's a great thing. So I want to know what's hidden in there. But I'm not against giving money to some wealthy people, because just think about it. The wealthy is the one that gives us the paycheck. So if they're not making money, we're not making money. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong on that. What do you guys think on that? I mean, if we tax the hell out of the rich, and they close down shop, where's that going to get us? It's not going to get us nowhere. Just my opinion. But definitely don't need to tax anybody. I want to stop taxes on everybody. And I think that's where we're working to. I actually think that this is just a start. I think we're going to that's just my opinion. I think this is just a start. If we get no taxes there, look at I think it was Louisiana, I think it was, and one other state, I think. If anybody knows what state that is, please comment down below. But I think a couple states already passed legislation or laws that says that there's no taxes in their state. So I think that's awesome. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave it right there. And thank you so much for sharing, subscribing, and we'll see you on the next episode. I thank you so much. Thank you.